A very good evening and a warm welcome to this Tuesday night's edition of Primetime News. I'm Selima Shimwefeleni Masipa. Headlining this evening's bulletin, President Dr. Hage Geingob says it's time for Namibia to act and deliver on the opportunities offered by the proposed green hydrogen sector, which is the country's hope for economic recovery and poverty eradication. Linnea Dishena compiled our first report.
Speaking at a media conference at State House on Monday following the recently concluded World Economic Forum in Davos, Switzerland, Geingob said Namibia participated in order to market the country as an attractive investment destination, as well as share its ambitions with regard to renewable energy. The president said the government will work closely with the private sector on the plans and opportunities that green hydrogen will unlock, noting that Namibia has an unprecedented opportunity to convert relevant policy into significant investments and associated industrialization opportunities that will transform the economy. He noted Namibians are impatient. They want immediate results, but things will start very soon. He added that they have investors who are ready to invest in the sector, including Namibians who are ready. However, in the process, groundwork needs to be done by positioning the country as an attractive investment destination. Geingob further said the Namibian delegation included members of the private sector, emphasizing that both the public and private sectors have to lure investors to the country in order to kickstart Namibia's economic recovery.
The fifth session of the 7th Parliament resumed earlier today, and uppermost on the agenda are three draft laws, namely the Combating of Rape Amendment, Combating of Domestic Violence, as well as Access to Information Bills. Edward Mumbu Jr. compiled this insert.
The National Assembly went on recess on the 28th of April. In a statement availed to the media late Monday, the National Assembly spokesperson Raphael Hangula provided a brief on the work that lies ahead for the legislative arm for the remainder of the year. He simultaneously provided insight into the National Assembly's activities during their break. Chiefly, the Parliamentary Standing Committee on Economic and Public Administration went on an oversight drive to Inland Revenue Regional Offices and Customs Entry Point of Entry in the Oshana, Ohangwena, and Orongo regions. Their aim was to assess the efficiency, effectiveness, appropriateness, fairness, impact, and applicability of taxation, revenue, and customs duty collection. During the same period, the Parliamentary Standing Committee on Constitutional and Legal Affairs held its oversight visits to community courts in Kunene. Meanwhile, the Parliamentary Standing Committee on Gender Equality, Social Development and Family Affairs continued with its public hearings on three petitions: the legalization and non-legalization of abortion in Namibia, as well as the call to liberalize or reform the current Abortion and Sterilization Act. The petitions date back to 2020.
Moving on, following a Supreme Court ruling recently, 6 members of the Popular Democratic Movement were sworn in as new members of the National Assembly. Let's get an understanding on how this transpired from this insert.
The swearing-in ceremony took place in the National Assembly chamber on Monday. The 6 are Idipo Hamata, Yvette Arias, Maximilian Kashimune, Raymond D. Hart, Charmaine Shirare, and Mike Venani, father to PDM's leader McHenry Venani. They replace Esmeralda Esme Ives, Johannes Martin, Kathiongere Chaundo, Godfrey Kupuzo Mwilima, Timotheus Sidney Shihumbu, and Pieter Mostert. This is after the court found that they were unlawfully on the 2019 parliamentary list in the run-up to that year's National Assembly election.
Now, in a boost towards the prevention of the spread of HIV, the Ministry of Health and Social Services received over 6.9 million condoms and 2.6 million lubricants valued at an estimated 4.3 million Namibian dollars from the US government earlier today. Lydia Pitiri covered the event.
Receiving the donation from the US government, Executive Director of the Ministry of Health and Social Services, Benangombe, noted, the handover signifies the culmination of efforts to address Namibia's need to secure HIV-related commodities and to strengthen HIV prevention measures.
It is not often stated, but the 2030 targets include the question of reducing new infections, and condoms are actually responsible and will be responsible in helping us to reach the target of reducing new infections by 2030. These commodities are needed in our communities. We don't want to hear a situation where people are saying they need condoms and they cannot find them in our health facilities. That's why decisions were taken in the past to ensure that the condoms are not only available in health facilities, but they were being distributed even through community facilities, such as even cooker shops and other places.
On her part, U.S. Embassy Trust Affairs, Jessica Long said while there has been notable advancement in the development and deployment of ARV treatment, there is unfortunately still no cure for HIV.
This is why prevention is so important. As partners and stakeholders, we must continue to support the prevention of the transmission of HIV. Condoms are one of our best lines of defense. Executive Director Nangombe, dear partners, as part of the PEPFAR program, the United States Agency for International Development, through its partner IntraHealth Namibia, supports a program that Ms. Lavinia Shikongo spelled out to you, but that we call for short KP STAR. This 5-year program supports 75 facilities, mainly in urban areas all around the country, by providing condoms to 18 stakeholder organizations, including the 7 organizations under KP STAR. The United States government, with PEPFAR funding through USAID's Global Health Supply Chain Program, has procured these condoms and lubricants worth approximately 4.3 million Namibian dollars. They will be distributed to 273 hotspots and 14 pickup points throughout Namibia.
When we return, more than 993,000 Mercedes vehicles are being recalled worldwide. The business and economic segment commences with news from neighboring South Africa, where official data today showed the country's gross domestic product grew by 1.9% in the first quarter, returning the continent's most industrialized economy to pre-pandemic levels.
The official statistics agency, StatSA, said it was the second consecutive quarter of upward growth. It said the size of the economy is now at pre-pandemic levels, with real GDP slightly higher than what it was before the COVID-19 pandemic. The report said manufacturing, finance, business services, and trade made gains during the first quarter, while agriculture was subdued and mining and construction contracted. It cautioned that the economic impact of devastating floods that struck the KwaZulu-Natal province in the southwest of the country would only be reflected in the GDP results for the second quarter, due for release in September. Africa's biggest industrialized economy has been badly hit by the impact of the COVID-19 pandemic, amplifying joblessness, poverty, inequality, and exacerbating anti-foreigner sentiment. On the 31st of May, StatSA said the unemployment rate had fallen for the first time in almost 2 years, declining from 34.5% in the first quarter of 2022 from 35.3% at the end of last year.
On to European business news. More than 993,000 Mercedes vehicles are being recalled worldwide, of which 70,000 are in Germany. Michael Madimba breaks down the why.
The KBA said in a statement dated June the 1st and reported late Saturday in German media that the recall affected cars built between 2004 and 2015 of the SUV Series ML and GL and the R-Class luxury minivan. Corrosion on the brake booster can in the worst case lead to the connection between the brake pedal and the braking system being interrupted, the KBA said. As a consequence, the service brake can stop functioning. The KBA added that worldwide, 993,407 vehicles were being recalled, including around 70,000 in Germany. Mercedes-Benz confirmed the recall later in a statement sent to AFP, saying the move was based on analysis of isolated reports for certain vehicles. According to Mercedes, in rare cases of severe corrosion, it might be possible for a particularly strong or hard braking maneuver to cause mechanical damage to the brake booster, whereby the connection between brake pedal and brake system would fail. The auto car maker noted in the rarest of cases, it would not be possible to decelerate the vehicle via the service brake. Thus, the risk of a crash or injury would be increased. The company said it would start with the recall immediately and contact the owners of the potentially affected vehicles. The recall process will involve inspecting potentially affected vehicles and, depending on the results of the inspection, replacing the parts where necessary, Mercedes-Benz said. Until the inspection takes place, we ask our customers not to drive their vehicles, it noted.
Stay tuned for the sports news, but first your economics roundup and the weather forecast. In tonight's Sport Planet segment, we commence with news that might be sad for some Bayern Munich fans or maybe some good news for Barcelona fans. Robert Lewandowski says something has died within him at Bayern Munich as the striker continues to push for an anticipated exit to Barcelona. The Poland international, who has a year left on his contract with the Bundesliga champions, has repeatedly signaled his intent to leave Allianz Arena this summer.
Though no official confirmation has been made by the player, it appears Lewandowski is fixated upon a switch to Camp Nou in the next step of his decorated career. A myriad of issues, from Bayern's reluctance to sell him through and to whether Barca can afford to pay any transfer fee, remain major obstacles to any such move. But Lewandowski has continued to state he will not be in Bavaria next term, saying he desires to move on to discover new challenges. "Something has died in me," the striker told Polish outlet Online Sport. "I want to leave Bayern to seek new emotions in my life." Though other clubs have been intermittently linked, reports have suggested Barca will be the only destination for Lewandowski if he does depart Bayern.
Staying with football, Gareth Southgate said Germany remained the benchmark for England as a result of their trophy-winning pedigree as he prepared his side for tonight's Nations League clash in Munich. England will look to bounce back from their surprise Nations League defeat to Hungary when they face the four-time World Cup winners in Munich. Southgate's men beat their old rivals in the last 16 of Euro 2020 last year and will be hoping to repeat the feat this evening. But Germany have won every match under new boss Hansi Flick, who took over from Joachim Löw after the European Championship. Stand by for your sports roundup. And with that, we've come to the end of tonight's newscast. Many thanks for tuning in. If you're new to this channel, please subscribe, like, share, and press the notifications bell to stay posted on the latest happenings locally and globally. From myself, Salima Shumwefeleni, and the entire production crew, it's good night.